fit.
Both shots good from the stripe.
And getting back to J.J. Hickson, he's forever had the size and strength to get it done. His problems have always been that lack of discipline and an unrefined set of tools. I mean, unfortunately, last season highlighted those flaws.
Here's Harris. Feeds it to Freak. And that one's good. Freak's got his second bucket of the game to go. Well, with Freak, Clark, there was a question whether he would stay another year in college. Really was a tough decision for him, but he ended up coming out after his freshman year.
And, Kevin, it's really hard to blame a guy like Freak for doing that. I mean, he's clearly NBA ready, and he's putting a lot at risk for every year he stays in school when he could be on the NBA clock.
Here's Harden, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Talking about Hickson, every time you count him out, he surprises you with a streak of inspired play. Then every time you count him back in, he puts up a dud. Hard guy to figure out right now.
The Nuggets making a switch here. Foy's checked in.
There's not a lot you can say that hasn't been said before about his skill at the charity stripe.
Hickson kicks to Harris. Makes it off the glass. Harris has got his first points of the night.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
Denver passing it around. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Denver with a tough year last season. A lot of losses for them on the road as they would go, what, Clark, only 11-30 away from the Mile High City.
Yeah, and Kevin, they ended the season on a 5-game road losing streak as well. I mean, they had mostly given up at that point as they had tried to develop young players, and it just kind of blew up on them down the stretch.
A big problem for the Nuggets last year is that they just couldn't hit shots away from home. I mean, they finished in the bottom 5 in terms of field goal percentage on the road.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Brewer comes in for Trevor Ariza. And it's Thornton in for James Harden.
Hey, I've got one more note on the Nuggets and the road. I mean, when you shoot as poorly as they did, as you mentioned, you start to lose some confidence and second-guess things. It's a lot harder to fight through shooting slumps like that in somebody else's building, no doubt.
And that is good.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Here's Freak. And it's off the back rim. No good.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
They sure are. I mean, they've done a terrific job carving out space under the basket and then pursuing the ball. You know, it's one thing to box out, but you've got to pursue the ball if you're going to get rebounds. And they look strong here in the early going.
Foy. And Capella sends it back. Oh, and a fast break for the Rockets. Thornton's got the ball. Marcus Thornton on the wing. He feeds it to Brewer. They set the pick. Jones the pass to Thornton. And another 3 for Houston.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
Here's Hickson. Let's take this chance to see which of last season's teams had the most second chance points in the league. Fourth, the Nuggets.
That's an effort stat for me. I mean, it shows you how hard this team works in the paint. They continue to pound the backboard.
That free throw good from Hickson. And Hickson drops them both. Tanking is something that all teams that are out of it tend to do. I hate that word, Clark, but it seems to be the one used by a lot. Nuggets didn't really try to hide it last season either.
Well, you know, it certainly looked that way. Right around March, they just started sitting key players for no real reason. They framed it as rest, but it didn't quite look that way.
Well, looking back on last season, you could see the Rockets were tough at home. They just were relentless at going at teams.
Yeah, how about a 30-11 record last year? And a lot of close ones for them, but that home crowd at times could just really will them to victory.
As it did help in the series against the Clippers last year in the playoffs. Good on the second free throw.
Yeah, you just have to be more disciplined. I mean, too many fouls and free throw attempts for the opponent.
You know, it's one of the things coaches like least is giving away points. I mean, they've been a step late. They've been caught reaching. They've got to tighten things up at the defensive end.
And, Kevin, they need to be consistent with their effort on the boards. You look at the box score, and they're at a definite disadvantage.
And, you know, time will tell how big a factor that becomes in this game, guys, but if you're the coaching staff, it's certainly a point of emphasis.
Laverne, he's checked in for J.J. Hickson. Jones drives in. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two.
And, you know, for Houston's wins at home, a lot of it had to do with their three-point shooting. I mean, they shot an average of 35% from behind the arc at home, but kept their opponents to under 30% on the year in Houston.
And, guys, this is what makes Houston so good and why they've been so good for so long. In the last 31 seasons, they've only had 2 losing seasons. Only team in the league to do that.
Freak dishes to Chandler. With the teardrop, and it's Foy missing. Houston's gone 3 of 7 from three-point range in the first quarter. And Thornton kicks to Lawson. 1:09 left here in the first quarter. That's tipped. Chandler the pass to Foy. Freak with it, working on Jones. With the hook shot, and he tries off the glass, but it's no good. Houston in the lead. And the pass to Capella. Lawson has the open look, releases from the wing and drills it. Lawson's got 5 points so far.
And both teams on fire from the opening tip.
Well, I don't doubt it, Greg. We're going to have an entertaining game of basketball here today. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that's the case.
Offensive rebound. There's Freak. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty. And here we see the debut of Freak, the kid from Harlem. His first time on an NBA floor. And Clark, it's a moment that he's worked very hard to achieve, and his family has got to be proud.
Extremely so, Kevin. It's been a long journey for him, but every level along the way he's found success. High school phenom, playing for a college championship. I wouldn't bet against this kid on anything when it comes to basketball. That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
Foy dishes to Freak. Harris kicks to Laverne. And here's Freak. There's Foy with the three. And that's not going to go. Well, earlier we sat down with Freak and asked him about playing in his first NBA game.
You know, I've thought about this moment my entire life. Now that it's finally here, the feeling's pretty crazy. But I know it's just the beginning. I got a lot of hard work ahead of me to get to where I want to go, to be the best player and the best teammate I could be. But this is an exciting first step, no doubt.
You know, Clark, you don't see that kind of perspective for most rookies, do you?
You really don't, Kevin. I mean, I really like his approach to the game. What remains?
And a whole new 5 on the floor. Big group substitution here for Denver. Freaks checked in for Kenneth Fareed. Chandler comes in for Gallinari. Gary Harris, he's checked in for Will Barton. And it's Foy in for Moutier. So on the floor for Denver, Abdul Karim, he's in at power forward. Foyle is out there with Harris. Then it's Wilson Chandler. And it's Laverne in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Here's Freak. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. That's on Terrence Jones. The Nuggets missed the postseason again last year. Never really had a good look at it. Just fell in back of the pack.
And it's the second straight year of not playing playoff basketball in Denver. This coming on the heels of 10 straight bursts between 04 and 13.
And both free throws good from Freak.
Yeah, the Rockets were able to make it to the second spot in the West at the very end of the season. Actually came down to the last day. They could have ended as low as 6th going into the final game.
Well, let's look back to last year's Nuggets while we've got a moment here, Kevin. 4th and second chance point.
Houston's gone 5 of 10 from downtown tonight. 50% exactly. Lawson the pass to Jones. He kicks it to Brewer. That's in, and he's now 3 for 3 and looking sharp. Last season for the Rockets, they finished as the number 2 team in the West to the Golden State Warriors. But, you know, gee, they had to battle the whole way through.
Yeah, in part because of injuries. I mean, the Rockets did well to come in second in the West, but it was because they took care of the so-called easy games. 33 wins in the conference, but a record of 12 and 16 against the other playoff teams out West.
And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for Houston.
Guys, they are dialed in from beyond right now. They didn't waste any time getting into a groove in this game.
You know, the other thing they've been able to do in the early going is to get to the free throw line and convert tonight.
Foy dishes to Chandler. Pass to Freak. And he dunks it down.
Whoa. That'll wake you up. My goodness.
Is he an athlete or what?
No doubt about it. It's almost as if he lives in the air, and dunks like that have become quite commonplace.
Lawson right side. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. You know, Clark, the one thing you can say about Ty Lawson is his awareness around the floor. He's just ubiquitous, and his court vision is incredible.
Excellent peripheral vision. He averaged almost 10 assists a game last season. That's the best year of his career thus far.
And for Ty Lawson, playmaking isn't a concern. He's got that. His shooting accuracy, though, seems to drop every year. In fact, the last 2 years have been the worst of his career.
Freak kicks to Laverne. That's good.
The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening.
It really is, Clark. The defenders need to do a better job of closing those lanes to the hoop.
Lawson outside. Pass to Brewer. Houston moving it around. Shot clock at 5, and the basket by Thornton.
Yeah, you know, going back to Lawson's declining shooting percentage, really no apparent reason for it. Last year he launched the fewest threes in his past 4 seasons, but he still couldn't find the rhythm, and it really hurt his team down the stretch.
Harris passes to Freak. Here's Foy with the 3. That's good. Foy's got 7 points for the quarter.
After going scoreless in the first, he's really found a way to turn it on here in the second quarter.
Down low. And it's Terrence Jones with the finish.
Boy, that's a nice feed by Lawson.
The Nuggets trail by 3. Foy with it. He's got 7. Kicks it to Freak. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You know, the Nuggets could create their offense, but they still would have trouble knocking down the shots. Just didn't have a lot of dead-eye laser shooting. Every field goal attempt with them was an adventure.
The first free throw is good. Nuggets did have their problems on the offensive end, too. Something that's rare for them, hitting the open shot and the mid-range shot and beyond being one of them.
You know, Kevin, how about being last in the league in catch-and-shoot field goal percentage? I mean, got a good amount of looks that way, but really struggled shooting only 34% in those situations.
We've got 1:23 left in the first half of basketball. Now Lawson. He's got 7. On the wing, Thornton. He dishes it to Capella. Shot clock at 6. A 3 ball. No good from Lawson.
You know, not only is the game neck and tight, but the rebounding battle is too. Extremely close on the boards.
It's been brutal in terms of the physicality down low.
Here's Freak.
That athlete.
Yeah.
And that's a punch to the jaw. This game is tight as